Listen up, hockey fans. You're in the right place. A no-hold-barred debate between two hockey fans. Stay up to date on current issues in the NHL, even the controversial ones. Welcome to The Debate Hockey Podcast with your host, Brad Burud.
It's time for the Debate Hockey Podcast, episode number 14. I'm Brad Burud, and my co-host tonight will be Blake Frairs. And tonight we'll talk about the Oilers' game plan. How will Edmonton right the ship for next season? Headshots. Is the NHL trying to eliminate these? And the Rangers rebuild. Is it time for a rebuild in the Big Apple? All that tonight on the Debate Hockey Podcast.
InsideEdgeHockeyNews.com.
Topic number one on the debate tonight. Let's talk about Edmonton Oilers and what is the game plan in Edmonton?
I mean, it's really tough to say because you look at the Edmonton Oilers team and you can say, boy, this is a good hockey team. But when you dive in deeper to the Oilers, my first thing I go to is their contracts that they have. I mean, you look at their bad contracts they have. Milan Lucic 7x6, Chris Russell 4x4, and Ryder Nugent-Hopkins 7x6.
I don't think Russell's is bad. I look at this. Okay, so you look at this Oilers team, right? Mm-hmm. And you made a comment that kind of made me laugh a little bit when you said they're a good team. Yeah. What makes you think that they're a good team?
I mean,
because they're sitting in 6th in the Pacific.
Oh, right.
50 points.
This year it's brutal,
and they're 12 points back of a playoff spot.
No.
And you know what? One of the things I was just doing when I was doing a little looking at research for this, something really caught my eye. Goals per game, 2.78. When you got Draisaitl and McDavid on your team, that's 21st in the National Hockey League. Mm-hmm. Goals against, 3.18. 27th in the league.
Cam Talbot's
not doing well.
But
in defensive, Cam Talbot I don't think the defense up front of him is very good.
It's the exact same as last year, minus some injuries at the start of the year.
Yeah, but Cam Talbot can't play like he played last year every year.
Well,
that's
it can be a little close to it.
Yeah, he's fallen off the face.
Well,
of the
like last year, he had 48 wins. This year, he's on pace for like 27.
Well,
that can't happen if you want to make the
wins
playoffs.
Aside, I mean, he just isn't stopping the puck. His stats aren't good.
Yeah, I don't know, like,
his
next year they're in trouble.
So let's talk about this. I'll jump ahead in my notes here, but what do you do with Cam Talbot? Is he your starter? Now you got Cam.
Who else is going to be?
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm asking, though.
They go out and get a free agent next year?
Well, I don't know. They got him for next year.
Yeah,
at 4.1. Now, what do you do?
Which is a bargain
if he stops the puck.
Yeah,
it's not looking really good right now.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to pay somebody 4.1 for a .89 save percentage.
Well, Edmonton's problem is they still need a top 4 D-man. They need two D-men.
Yeah, they do.
And they got Darnell Nurse they got to pay next year.
But that might not be the problem, because you know what the problem's probably going to be?
Well, up front,
you can't even afford to sign a top-end defenseman.
No, I know. McDavid and Leon Draisaitl's contracts kick in next year, and McDavid's getting 12.5, and Leon Draisaitl's getting 8.5. I mean, Peter Chiarelli had to give those contracts. I mean, his hands are tied.
They're tied, but now they're really tied.
Oh, but see that Edmonton's problem. They need to get rid of. I think they need to trade Nugent-Hopkins. I mean, he's a third-line center getting $6 million.
I get that. But if you trade Nugent-Hopkins, then you are really, really weak up down the middle.
Edmonton's going to need a draft. They're going to have to get a couple steals in the draft and then the next couple of years.
Because Letestu's a minus king. Mm-hmm. Strome, I don't know if he's the answer.
Don't even get me going on Strome. I mean,
and Jujhar Jakar, I don't know that he's the answer. I look up down the middle here, Nugent-Hopkins.
He's their best center right now.
So you can't get rid of him. And at $6 million, that's maybe.
He's our third line center.
But he won't be.
What? Draisaitl's second line center, McDavid's number 1. Where is he going?
Right now, that's not true, because I mean,
unless they got Draisaitl
on the wing right now
with McDavid, which is.
Okay, that's currently where they have.
Okay, I get that you want to have those two firepower up front, but you need to spread out the wealth. I mean, if you want to be successful, you got to have depth down the middle. Right now, they got 2 centers. If you put Draisaitl on the first line with McDavid, you got 2 centers. Letestu's junk.
Oh, yeah.
He's a good penalty killer. That's about it.
So what do you do here? Where do you start? Do you think they're going to be good next year?
It all depends on Cam Talbot. Cam Talbot has the keys to the Oilers' success.
Yeah,
because McDavid, look what McDavid just did against the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah, McDavid's been ridiculous.
He can take a game over any time.
He's got 11 points in last 3 games.
Yeah.
You're right. He can take a game over, but he sure hasn't done it a lot this year.
He needs some help, though. He needs help.
They can't afford to get any more help for him.
Like that's what I'm talking about, though. So okay, I get they trade Eberle. Eberle was making $6 million. Strome was making $3.5. Okay, that's a business deal. Kind of makes sense. But right now, Strome is not producing like the player they need to. Eberle's on pace for 35 goals this year. He would look pretty good playing with McDavid right now.
He would, but they couldn't afford him. They can't afford to keep all these guys. See, that's the problem. And I think Toronto's going to run into that problem too. So you got to
I don't think Matthews is going to demand that much money.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
Well, why wouldn't
He's getting 10.
Why wouldn't he?
He'll get the same contract as Jack
McDavid's better than Matthews, so he should be below that.
I mean, he'll get the same deal as Eichel, I think. He'll get
which
is 8 times 10.
A huge screw up on Buffalo's part.
What was it, 8 times 80? 8 times 80, yeah. But Matthews is worth 8 times 80, though.
He is. He's way better than Eichel.
Oh, for sure.
But I'm looking at this Oilers team, and I don't think there's a quick fix here.
But I think the Strome, whatchamacallit, what do you call that? The project. I think it's done. I think they trade him.
Well, what are you going to get for him?
He
Your biggest problem is Lucic. Now, I'm fully convinced that Maroon is history.
Yeah, for sure. He's making $1.5 million too. That's an absolute bargain for any playoff team.
Well, okay.
If you look by salary, though,
I think he's going to be gone for sure because he wants to re-sign, according to reports in Edmonton.
But Edmonton's not going to give him the money.
They're not going to be able to afford to give him the money
unless he signs a contract that he has now.
Camilleri's old history. Letestu, I can't believe they're talking about people wanting Letestu for the trade deadline.
Yeah,
but boy,
the biggest issue here: Nurse, Benning, and Brandon Davidson, all free agents. That's 3 of their defensemen that are restricted free agents. What do you think Nurse is going to demand in free agency his first year?
I don't know.
I mean, he's I know you don't really like him. You're not very high on him.
I'm not against him. I just don't think.
I mean,
I don't think he's a top.
Okay, but 6'5" D-man don't grow on trees.
Yeah, but they got to be able to play better than Darnell Nurse is playing.
And I don't know. I think he'll get a pretty hefty raise, no?
How much can they give him? How much can they give him, though? Yeah. I'm not saying that.
Well, right now they got projected $14 million in cap space for next year.
Obviously, he's on an entry-level contract, so he's getting $863,000 this year. So, now, I'm not saying that. I mean, obviously, he's going to get a raise,
like $3 million, probably something like that.
Okay, but what happens to the cap next year?
I think he'll go up to 80. It's at 74.
No, I'm not talking that. I'm talking. Let's say it's at 80.
Okay,
you're going to be tighter than a drum.
I mean, with McDavid and Draisaitl, it's the same thing as Pittsburgh had.
You've got
it's
Lucic.
The same thing as Taves and Kane.
You've got Lucic till 22, 23 when I can retire. What are they thinking?
Yeah,
here?
I don't know what they're thinking, giving him 7 times 6.
Zach Kassian for the next 2 more years at $2 million, 1.95.
That's a good deal.
Really?
Zach Kassian? He's a gritty player.
Yeah, I can find a guy playing in the AHL to come up and be a gritty player for me at an entry-level contract of $725,000. No. Now what's going to happen here? What's going to happen when Puljujärvi says, I want some money too. I'm a big, tall, strong forward.
Yeah, Edmonton, I don't know what their plan with Puljujärvi is because Last year,
should be.
Last year he played what?
He's 19 years old.
Okay, but they rushed him though.
Absolutely,
they rushed him
did.
bad. They thought, okay, we're gonna
What
get.
their plan is their plan should be just to go send him to the AHL, let him get some confidence, and quit yanking the poor kid around.
Oh, they did that last year. They thought this guy's gonna be like a Patrick Laine, come big forward, score. He's gonna score goals.
Not everybody, you know what I mean?
No,
like, those guys like Patrick Laine and Matthew Tkachuk are a dime a dozen. You can't find those guys.
No.
They're not guys that are sitting there growing on trees.
Generation players for sure.
We get a McDavid and a Matthews who jump right from juniors to the National Hockey League and produce, and we think that all top
everybody's
three
that,
picks are going to do that, and that's just not the case.
And for the last 3 years and this year, that might be the case. Because you got that Rasmus Dahlin kid.
Yeah, well, it might be for the first pick. And, you know what I mean, though? Like, you can't expect and then get down on Puljujarvi because he wasn't a stud his first year.
But Edmonton, I think, figured it out, though. They got him playing with McDavid as of late. He's been putting up some numbers.
I like him.
Oh, I like him, too. He's what, 6'3", 6'4". He can skate. He's got a cannon of a shot.
He's going to be good. He's going to be a stud.
They got to be smart about it. They can't be rushing him and expecting him to just flat out produce for them. And the kid's it's still a teenager.
So let's just
let me break down the trades here real quick. Let's look at Peter Chiarelli. Okay, so last year he trades.
I don't think they're going to trade him though.
No.
Trade him. I mean, fire him.
No. Okay, but you trade Taylor Hall for Larson. Okay.
Okay, you had to do that.
For Strome.
Had to do the Larson trade.
Why?
Because
they're making like the same.
Okay, but
I get they didn't have D-man. I get they didn't have D-man, but you don't trade Taylor Hall.
Well, they didn't have a choice. They had Taylor Hall for 3 years prior to that, and they didn't do diddly squat.
Because they had nobody around him. They had Nugent Hopkins, Eberle, and Yakupov. Oh, you're going to win games with those guys?
They were all top-end picks.
Yeah, and but Yakupov shouldn't have been a first overall pick. They should have took Ryan Murray, first overall.
Well, that's done deal now, though.
There has been so many. Edmonton has drafted so poorly in the last decade.
Well, I would argue that in the fact that they do have Draisaitl, they do have McDavid.
Draisaitl was what
and they do have
pick was he?
Puljujarvi.
3?
Yeah.
They've won the lottery. What did they win the lottery, like 4 to 6 years?
Yeah.
Hello, you should be cup contenders right now if you do that.
Well, they were. They were supposedly going to be.
Supposedly, yeah.
Going to be cup contenders.
Except they took Yakupov over Ryan Murray.
Well, they were going to be cup contenders.
And then you go trade Yakupov for a third. You trade Justin Schultz for a third-round pick. The guy is putting up 50 points in Pittsburgh right now. Top 4 D-man that Edmonton's missing. Quarterback of their power play. Oscar Klefbom's good, but he's no Justin Schultz. Justin Schultz had 52 points last year.
You know what I think's funny? You get a guy like Oscar Klefbom, who's been pretty good for Edmonton. And, really pretty good. But why do the Oilers hit the panic button and sign him for so many years, like right away?
Yeah. What did they give him, 5 years?
They gave him 6 years at 4.167. And
he's what? How old is he? 23?
He's 24.
24, so they got him to 30. I don't know. Giving that big contract's the right choice though, because he had a couple good years.
I'm negative on contracts because I honestly
you look at every single team, Brad. Every team has a bad contract or more.
But I feel
GMs just give out 6 times 6 like it's candy, for God's sakes.
I know,
like it's ridiculous.
6
the guy put
Louis
Eriksson gets 30 goals in Vancouver. Here's 6 times 6. Here you go. You're going to play at the Sedin Twins and score 35 goals. Nope, that's not the case.
So what? So what's going to happen in Edmonton? Is this something they can fix in 1 year, or is this going to be?
Oh, here one more
rebuild
thing.
Number 4.
One more thing here. Chiarelli trades a first-round pick and a second-round pick for Griffin Reinhart. That pick that the Islanders took. Guess who it was? Barzal. He'd be pretty good with McDavid right now, no?
Yeah, but they couldn't afford it. I know what you mean.
Seriously,
I know what you mean.
I actually love those trades that are like player to be named later or our future pick, and it's like a stud.
You never know. Sometimes those lower round picks really pan out.
And all in all, I think the Oilers can bounce back next year. I mean, Cam Talbot is going to have to play lights out. I mean.
So what are they going to do? What are they going to do at the deadline? Are they going to move anybody? Are they going to move a Hopkins? Are they going to move somebody to bring in a big
I don't
D
think
man?
they trade Hopkins because he's hurt right now. He's out with broken ribs for another 4 weeks, so I don't think.
I don't think that would be a good move.
But
don't come in.
Patrick Maroon's going to get traded. I can see Letestu getting traded for some depth at center. I mean, he's a minus player, but he's got playoff experience, so. And that's what teams want. So
I think
it's tough to say.
I think the Oilers they have confidence right now. And
did you see what Cam Talbot said? He said they guaranteed the playoffs.
5 of their last 7. Oh boy, I hate when players do stupid stuff like that.
He said we're gonna play till the end, and it's good that they have confidence like that.
They probably will, but I don't think Edmonton's getting in, and I don't think
10 points back.
12, and I don't think they're going to be a player at deadline because I don't know. Besides Maroon, obviously.
What do you think they can get for Patrick Maroon?
Not that much.
Like a 3rd-round pick, maybe?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They might even get more, though, because of his salary.
I think...
They could get a 2nd-round pick, I think, for Patty Maroon. He's only $1.5 million.
Yeah. I think this is going to be... a couple-year deal for them.
It's tough to say. Like, honestly, though, you look at all the Canadian teams, though. Look at how many of them are going to be sellers. Edmonton, Vancouver.
I don't think Edmonton's a seller,
Edmonton is a seller. This year they are sellers.
What are they going to sell?
Patrick Maroon.
They're losing him at the end of the year anyways.
But you look at all the Canadian teams, though. Montreal, seller. Vancouver, seller. Ottawa, seller. They're all sellers.
Calgary, buyer. Winnipeg, buyer.
That's it.
Toronto.
Nah, they can't afford anybody, though.
Who?
Toronto, they have no cap.
Well, no, I know, but they could afford him Patrick Maroon for the stretch.
Oh, if they get Patrick Maroon, you can put him with Matthews.
Well, I'm just saying. So I wouldn't say Toronto's a seller.
No. Well, half of the Canadian teams are sellers right now.
Well, it's because half the Canadian teams are awful again.
Hey, but...
it's too bad. We'll see. But I think this is going to be a long process for the Oilers. A couple years at least.
Inside Edge Hockey News. Bringing the NHL to the fans.
Topic number 2 on the debate. We're going to talk a little bit about headshots. And is the NHL really serious about cracking down on these? And to take that a step further, what is the magnitude of how headshots are going to affect this league over the next 5 to 10 years and youth hockey and things like that? And we got a couple different topics to talk about. Let's
start with the Burrows one.
No. Let's start with what we were just talking about, and that being the Forsberg hit on VC.
All right.
Okay, let's break this down so the people maybe that don't know what happened or know what's going on. But Forsberg of the Predators hit VC behind the net. The puck was gone. He went at him with his backside to him, landed his shoulder, elbowish area in the face, and was suspended 3 games. VC is injured, concussion. Timetable not yet set. I haven't heard of anything for when he returns. I think this is a dirty hit, not because he drove up into his head or anything like that, but this was way late.
Don't admire your pass. That won't happen. Keep your head up. His head was down the whole time. He was watching his pass on the boards, turns around, bam.
There is a point.
It's a good old hockey hit.
That is not a good old hockey hit. That puck was gone for a long time.
Back in the day, Scott Stevens does that. Does he get suspended?
Nope, but you know what? If Scott Stevens played in the game today, he would be suspended a lot. You got to look out for players. You can't have this happen. Okay, so let me turn this on you.
Okay, the NHL is turning into a soft league.
No, it's not at all.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
The NHL is so soft. First of all, these one-handed slashes. Now it's this.
We're not talking about slashes. I'm talking about protecting people's heads.
It is becoming so soft these days.
I'm talking about a head, not a wrist, not an arm. I'm talking about a head.
Okay, but...
Okay,
in this day and age, you can't even hit anybody and get a penalty.
So let me ask you this. That is Austin Matthews, Brock Besser coming behind the net, and he gets hit like that. What happens then? Oh. No, I'm serious. What happens if that's Sidney Crosby? What happens if What? Seriously, though.
Nothing happens. They would still probably suspend him.
I'm sorry.
If the NHL really wanted to make a statement, they would have suspended him for 6 to 8 games. But instead, they gave him a 3-game. He's going to sit out his 3 games and go do it again if he wants
This
to.
isn't even to me.
Okay,
this isn't the dirtiest one this week. That Marchand hit on Johansson.
He should have got 15 games.
You dang right he should have. And they keep letting guys like and then
Brad
Radko
Marchand,
Gudas.
that's his 5th, 6th suspension?
Did you see Gudas's hit
Yeah,
on
he jumped at him.
Palmieri?
Did he get suspended for that?
No.
Yeah, it's a joke. He shouldn't be playing in the NHL.
This league will take a guy like, and I'm not trying to make him pick favorites, but they'll take a guy like Forsberg and give him 3 games, which 3 games is about what I would say for this hit. I think that's good.
If they wanted, if
they
really thought it was dirty, though, they would have gave him more.
You're right.
It wasn't that dirty.
You're right. Well,
that's why they
3
only
games.
Gave,
You got to do a lot to
3.
You got to do a lot to get 3 games though nowadays.
Marchand got what? How many did he get? 5?
5 games, but this is like he's a multiple offender.
I don't.
And they always this league protects Marchand and Gudas. I don't understand it.
Gudas, I don't even know how he's.
I don't even know how they have this league. Going on to another guy in this league that I do not understand. And that's talking about what happened last night with Taylor Hall and Burrows. Taylor Hall, now we're talking about legal hits. Taylor Hall lays down a legal hit on Burrows last night. Mm-hmm. And that little coward jumps up and goes over there and gives him a cross check, waits for the whistle to go, and then jumps on Hall and knees him in the face 2 times.
Yeah,
that is a gutless, crappy play. And that little sucker should be out of the National Hockey League. And if you listen to a lot of people talking in the National Hockey League today, not one person I've heard has defended that little weasel.
I don't know. It's hard for me to talk bad about Burrows.
Why? They don't even like him in Vancouver. Here's the difference.
Loved him in Vancouver. He played there for 12 years. He's a fan favorite.
Did his teammates like him?
I don't know. I don't talk to him in the dressing room. I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you, but he produced on the ice. He was one of the.
He's been invisible in this league.
Okay,
since he left Vancouver.
Well, for sure he has. I mean, he doesn't need to play that Marchand style of game. Marchand doesn't even need to play like that to be a good.
No, Marchand's an unbelievable hockey player that ruins himself by the way he's dirty.
His reputation
ruins himself.
Both of these players' reputation. You talk about Marchand. You talk about Burrows. You talk about all these guys that don't got the greatest of reputations, but Burrows, what he did, I didn't like it. I mean, he's not that kind of player, to be honest. He doesn't.
He's not that kind of player. He
doesn't do that type of stuff. He doesn't go kneeing people in the head.
When have you ever seen Burrows answer the bell?
He's an agitator.
When have you seen him?
That's his game. He's an agitator. He gets in people's face, gets the top players off the game.
But I don't like Matthew Tkachuk, or I like Matthew Tkachuk, but I don't like Bieksa. But I'll give Bieksa all the credit in the world because he's
a warrior. That's
because when it is time, he will drop the gloves.
Oh, he'll show up.
But Burrows, what does Burrows do?
He's a kind of a turtler. But Burrows isn't that guy though. He's just an agitator. I don't know.
He's a big coward. And you know what? I think the league's going to make a big example on this one.
Well, I think he gets 8 games.
I've heard a lot of people talking today. They think he's going to get 10 plus.
I think he'll get 8 games.
I think, you know what I think he's going to get? I think he's going to get 6.
Think you get 6?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's tough to say, but
okay. But now talking about headshots, I'm going to tell you a little story about this weekend. Spent the weekend in Brandon, Manitoba, one of my favorite cities to go to. I love going to Brandon. It's a great hockey community. Well, was there for a youth hockey tournament with my son, and spent 2 nights watching the Brandon Wheat Kings play.
Who did they play? Friday night they played
Prince George. Gave up a third period lead and lost, and then on Saturday night they played Red Deer and was able to pull out an overtime victory that was filled with controversy, but. The game aside, I wanted to talk about a hit. So my son's hockey team goes to this. We get tickets. And the kids that were in like the second row. Well, actually, there was nobody in the front row. They were in the second row, and the parents were in the third and fourth row. And in Brandon, the benches are on opposite sides.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Which is different, but. In the beginning of the third period, Wheat Kings defenseman Baron Thompson runs Red Deer's Colin Paradise from behind, and his face smashed into the glass right above the dasher, right in front of my son's youth hockey team.
Oof.
And his face exploded.
Really?
And I'm talking exploded. And he went right down. It was right next to the Wheat Kings bench. Play kept going. The referees did not blow the whistle. The Brandon Wheat Kings trainer was standing on the dasher screaming for them to blow the whistle. Paradise was down, was moving, but had no idea where he was. His teammates came over. The trainer was there. Before the Red Deer trainer got over there, his teammates tried to lift him up. He fell down, shaking, because he's out. He's out.
Yeah.
And he is jelly-legged, and so they drug him into the Brandon bench. In Brandon, it's different than a lot of hockey rinks. The side door on the Brandon bench is actually plexiglass that opens.
Oh, yeah.
Plexiglass all the way down. So we're sitting right there. Sun's hockey team is sitting right there, and you can see right into the bench. Paradise's face is full of blood. Full of blood. His mouth guard is slammed up into the roof of his mouth so hard that they had a hard time getting it out. He is looking with a look on his face that I have never seen a human being have. And it scared the hell out of me. And a physician came down in that side door. They cut his skates off. And they walked him out that door through the stands right in front of right in front of the kids, and down into the exit off to the end of the end of the building in Brandon where there is where the locker rooms are.
So how far away was he from the boards? Like 5 feet?
3 feet, 4 feet.
Oof.
And it was ugly. And I'm all about old school, and I'm all about big hits, and I love that.
Yeah, that's.
But when I'm sitting there seeing, and the game's fast paced.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there watching the look on his face and the pain that he's in and how out of it he is, and how I'm sitting there thinking, well, this is could be a permanent injury, brain injury.
For sure.
My other side of me sitting there going, oh boy, my kid's hockey team's not one of those guys are going in the corner tomorrow for the puck. But it made me kind of put the macho toughness aside when I saw the look on his face, and really kind of gave me a keen awareness of head injuries and how headshots can affect the reality and the life of a player.
Yeah.
And so when I argue with you about the VC hit and things like that,
you look at
I kind of look at it a little bit differently after being there firsthand and seeing the suffering that this Colin Paradise, and who I hope is okay right now, and a suspension. I just checked this afternoon. A suspension has not been handed down to Thompson, but it's pending right now. But you just hate to see a young hockey player in those struggles, and we hear about the hockey players that have had these struggles, and I don't want to take the toughness out of the game. I love tough, physical, hard-fought hockey games, but, man, I don't want to see people hurt for good.
Yeah, for sure.
Inside Edge Hockey News, lighting the lamp and raising the cup.
Topic number 3 on the debate tonight. Let's talk Rangers rebuild. Word in New York.
Not yet, though.
Oh, what?
That word hasn't been used yet.
Yes, it has.
Retool.
Fire sale. What do you want to say?
They have to do that, though. They have to trade Nash. They have to trade Grabner.
I agree.
They have.
I'm just saying, my question is,
Everyone?
will the Rangers fan base and Lundqvist accept a rebuild that could be 4 years?
Well, Lundqvist already said, whatever they do, whatever direction they go in, I'm all in. I don't know what he's doing. He's almost 37 years old.
No, he's 35. He's got 3 more years on an $8.5 million contract.
He's almost 36.
I think he's a great goalie. I don't think he's going to win a cup.
He's going to be one of the best to not win a cup. Him and Luongo both. It's not win a cup.
Luongo.
Oh, come on.
There's a lot of goalies that haven't won cups that are good. But
yeah.
Here's the biggest question you got to ask if you're in New York. Are the Rangers a cup contender?
No.
So, that being said, and this has really been talked about a lot this week, that they are going to be sellers at deadline.
They were talking, I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and they were talking about the Rangers. And are they going to fire Alain Vigneault? The answer is no.
I don't
They're not
think
firing
that's
Vancouver
not...
never should have fired Vigneault.
Well,
he's one of the best coaches in the NHL.
I don't think that's the answer. I think the answer lies when you look at their roster. They're old, they're slow, and it's time for a rebuild. They had their couple chances to win a cup.
Yeah, they went to the cup in 2014.
And they came close.
Lost in Game 6.
So now they need to tear it down a little bit.
Full tear down?
Well, they need to inject a lot of youth.
Okay, who are you building the team around? Jamie Vesey?
Well, that's what
Good luck rebuilding around Vesey.
Well, their problem is they haven't
Kevin Hayes.
They haven't acquired anybody. And that's their problem right now. So what are you going to do? You need to move Nash, who's a UFA.
Okay, Bob McKenzie was talking, and they were talking about him getting a similar return that Martin Hansel had last year, which was a first and a second round pick and a conditional pick.
Minnesota was out of their.
I don't know what they were doing that last year, but I think Vander Kane's price is going to come way down.
Oh, way down.
Way down. It's a similar thing. A first and a second round pick for Vander Kane. First and second round pick.
They won't even get that.
Really?
Okay, let me ask you this.
If you're a
GM.
A late first round pick.
We can't get too deep in this. This is what we're talking about next week is trade deadline stuff. But you can't mortgage picks for a guy that you're going to have for 3 months. That's scary.
Yeah.
Very rarely does that work. How many deadline day moves win teams cups? There's a couple in history, not many.
Marian Gaborik, 2012.
Okay, I said there's a couple. That's 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Hasn't done anything in 5 years. It's scary. I think Nash is going to get moved. I think Grabner, I think, will get moved.
They were talking about Grabner getting a first-round pick. There's no way.
But there's actually been a lot of talk that McDonough will get moved. Now, McDonough's a 28-year-old.
If they want to rebuild, why are you trading McDonough? Who's got a cap-friendly deal?
I think McDonough's...
He's 20 years old. You build your team around McDonough.
I think McDonough's the guy you keep and build around. I'm with you, but there's talk of it, and I'm not saying it's right.
That would be senseless to do that.
Can be anybody just saying that.
Makes no sense to do that.
But I think they need to inject a lot of
McDonough
youth.
And Nash and them, their Rangers are going to be terrible for years. Lundqvist can't do it by himself.
Well, Lundqvist... I don't think Lundqvist is the top-end goal anymore. He's 35.
You think he's worth $8.5 million?
Heck no.
No.
But they didn't sign him for the next 3 years. They signed him to get him to where they're at now, and they were hoping to have a cup before then.
Yeah.
But the problem is now
they need
to start looking for a goalie
to
to replace Lundqvist.
Andrei
Now,
Pavlik?
Here's one to think about.
Peter Mrazek?
Is going and talking to Calgary about Gillies?
Oh, I would go after Parsons.
They're not giving it. Calgary's not giving up Parsons. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
One or the other. Pick one.
They're not saying that.
Why not? Can't keep them both.
Yeah, I know. So they're going to keep Parsons.
Why not trade him and get most value?
Okay, name one guy on the Rangers roster that's worth him.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
There's none.
Be a couple.
There's none.
First round picks.
There's none.
But John Gillies, the guy hasn't proven anything.
No, I know he hasn't. But
AHL,
they don't have anybody on their roster that's proven anything either. And what I'm saying is, and that's not necessarily what the Rangers need to go out and worry about today. They need to worry about building up front today and getting younger and faster today.
Big problem is, you know what the big problem is? Brendan Smith's getting $4.3 million.
Yeah, but we
not
can
worth
sit.
That.
We can. Yeah, I know, but we can sit and go through contracts and rip GMs all day long.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that is a good contract, but it's done, and we can't change that. So what can the Rangers do now?
Buy him out.
You can't do that. What are you going to start to do? What's your first step? I think you need to move.
You got to trade Nash, you got to trade Grabner, and you got to trade Desharnais.
How about Zuccarello?
I would entertain offers on Zuccarello.
So would I. He's 30 years old.
He's 30 years old. He's
got one more year.
He's a late bloomer too.
Yeah.
He didn't get good till a couple years ago, but for sure I would entertain offers on McDonough too. I'm not saying I would trade him.
You just said a minute ago.
Okay, but
that would be stupid.
It would be stupid, but I would entertain offers just to see what the market is for him. But I would keep him, though.
I don't know what the mark would be. I guess I never really thought about what it would be for him.
Well, it'd be like a Carlson, no?
Are you kidding me?
No, I mean like not same as Carlson, but he's a top D man.
No.
He's
not even in the same sentence as Carlson.
No, but he's still a top 4 on any team in the NHL.
Well, I hope so. He's freaking getting $4.7 million. I hope he's a top 4.
So, okay, let me ask
you. Just said they're going to build their team around him. He better be a top D man.
He is.
Not even a top 4. He better be a top D man.
He is.
How many? Okay. He's a top 20 D man in the league.
Yeah.
He's not a top 10.
He once was.
Well, Rick Nash was a top 10 forward in the league too.
Yeah, 10 years ago.
That's what I'm saying.
Back when he's on Columbus.
You know, I don't know. I think this Rangers thing is going to be I think this one might be more long term.
Okay, here's what I don't understand.
You know what's going to slow this whole thing up?
What?
They got Lundqvist in net still.
Yeah,
and I know he's the savior, and every New York Rangers fan.
It's honestly a kick in the face to Lundqvist if they rebuild.
What, you going to muddle in mediocrity for the next 3 years until he retires? What's more of a kick in the face? Yeah.
What's really laughable about all this though is I was listening to Bob McKenzie. You listen to the Bobcast?
Yeah, I do.
A little bit. He was talking about the Rangers trading Grabner and Rick Nash, and then signing him in free agency next year. If you're rebuilding, why are you bringing those guys back? Makes no sense.
Well,
that's like Vancouver saying they're rebuilding, but they want to bring the Sedins back. Vancouver's rebuild's not starting until they get rid of the Sedins.
You just said that you think they should sign the Sedins for another year.
Okay, they should, but the
smart thing to do, you're about to say it,
is let them go.
Yes,
but that's not going to happen. They want to bring them back, but realistically,
so they don't want to do the smart thing.
They
don't want to do the smart thing.
The rebuild doesn't start until the Sedins leave.
Well, that's too bad for Vancouver fans. Then they're going to have to wait another year.
Hey, we're going to get another top 5 pick. Brady Tkachuk. Brady Tkachuk's going to be playing with Horvat and Brock Besser next year on the first line.
Don't hold your breath.
Hey.
All I'm saying, though, you look at this Rangers roster, and I think this is a team in trouble.
Well, it's just like the Oilers.
No, the Oilers,
Oilers.
No, it is not. The Oilers still have Draisaitl and McDavid, who are young super studs.
Okay, Edmonton has no goalie, and Rangers have a goalie.
Yeah, a goalie that's 35 years old.
Who's still decent.
Well, absolutely he is.
He's the king. Not the king anymore, but
we can't live on history.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm just saying, they don't have anything to build around. Edmonton's got a lot to build around.
Yeah, but are they going to do it the right way?
Well, that's a question.
That's the million-dollar question.
Exactly, it is. But I think the Rangers will start with a lot of moves here at deadline. I expect them to be one of the busier teams.
They are going to be one of the busiest teams. But we'll talk about that next week, too.
I think it's going to be a long road to hoe for the Rangers.
NHL news, opinions, and controversy.
Thanks for tuning into the Debate Hockey Podcast. Check out InsideEdgeHockeyNews.com for all your hockey news. Follow us on all forms of social media. And download the debate on your favorite podcatcher. Check us out on Spreaker, SoundCloud, iTunes, iHeart, and YouTube. Next week, the Debate Hockey Podcast will focus on trade deadline season and talk about what players are on the move and what teams are looking for what to solidify their playoff hopes. I'm Brad Burud. The co-host tonight was Blake Frairs, and we thank you for tuning in and enjoy this week's hockey action.
Inside Edge Hockey News on social media. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Google+. Get connected.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Debate Hockey Podcast with your host, Brad Burud. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit InsideEdgeHockeyNews.com and on Twitter at InsideEdgeHOCKE and Facebook at Inside Edge Hockey News. We'll catch you next time.
This has been a production of Inside Edge Hockey News Radio, copyrighted and distributed by the Inside Edge Hockey Media Group.